My batteries lasts 4 years, no more. But now I'm doing a completely new design. I posted it on YouTube. Motor is on the back. I purposely put saddle from Euro, because the ride, I rode it 300 kilometers or 186 miles. On this tiny seat, it clear, I won't be able to sleep next night. Yes, I cut off the pedals, to avoid temptation of pedal assist. Bike is okay. The shock absorbers, and 2, reserve and main battery packs. Generator is constantly working in the generation mode, permanently. It charges one battery pack or the other, so when main works, it charges reserve battery. When reserve works, it charges another. And it comes out. I travel 300 kilometers on them, and could still ride more. We were just got tired with my deputy. We outlined here in the city 10 kilometers loop. We made 30 laps. And we realized that, and, well, we quit but could do more. So for how far you rode it, 300. We have placed, and even showed how it's done. We drove 1 lap, then measured the voltage, 12.6 volts, a bit discharged batteries. It should show 12.9. Then we drove 1 circle, reserve battery showed 13, it charged so. And main descended to 12.6 on this lap, so constantly goes this, you know. Battery has property. If it deeply discharged, it very difficult to charge, that's right. Current, voltage and so on, and we do not permit that. As soon as working battery remains 80%, or at 20% of discharge, it automatically switches to another. And that's the top of this. We are constantly balancing. Reserve exhausted to 80, this rises to 100. Such a pumping swap goes on, and the top is very easy to fill, low currents, fast charging. And I say, I posted this information on YouTube. I warn inventors that if you try to put traditional motors, not asymmetric pulse motor and generator here in my design, which are a multi-pole, multi-frequency, then you will not get anything. On the contrary, you will only reduce range, because the generator when it engaged, it will break so hard, that I'm sorry, it will eat current, more than in regular mode. The higher the load, the higher braking and heating, and here, I showed it. Posted this information. You can find it. I just spin this generator by hand, and it lit a light bulbs. On the internet all these videos. By this example I've practically shown that what needed here is not main and backup battery, but 1 set of capacitors. Why? Because there I'm limiting. I'm putting resistance. So currents of pulse charging won't destroy the battery. It cannot be charged more than this particular battery, not more than 5 amps. It'll bloat. And the generator gives 12 to 16, so I'll throw those 12 to 16, especially on the slope somewhere. Right, I'll just throw it on the caps, to which even 100 amps, nothing. I've been in Switzerland, received a gold medal, they even had a race. And here been interested one classy businessman, he produces for Switzerland scooters, bicycles, and he came and said, now I'm convinced that everything okay. I'm about to order a 500 units so far for scooters. I immediately connected to this Leipzig factory, the well-known Kirov factory. This order we would like to fill for Mr. Aberley, so they will make certification. And after that, a joint venture, and we are ready to work not only at Switzerland, but countries he had already in mind. But at the last moment our factory set such a price that he refused. They did it for nothing. It was necessary, on the contrary, to lower the price. Although he promised $500 for the motor, That's a lot, even the Americans. In Sunrise Medical, Denver, Colorado, we estimated how much is my motor in the offshore zone. I had to go to the border with Mexico and their plants for a pennies doing my parts. And so, the total was $152 in America, where one motor assembly $25. And here we have in Russia $500. And why? Well, they saw, oh, Switzerland. So here's all ended. They are practically prevented this cooperation. And invited me. Now look, Indians, I've been there 6 or 7 times. Went to the Avon Cycles. CEO gave me this bike here. Says it's inside silver and gold. And the plant is the only plant in the world. It's such a big city. Ludhiana 600 kilometers from New Delhi to the north. And when he said how much they produce, you have no idea. In one day they released 10,000 bicycles. And they modestly started to release my motor. Here it is 1-to-1. Here we designed plastic covers for them, to be cheaper. Because the Indians earning $500 a year, on average. To buy a bike, it's cheap there, they should work a lot. It costs their only $150 or $140. Completed bicycle. And here we have a simple bike 200. Can they be disassembled? Motors, of course. You take the lid off, and only 5 parts, well. So you know what it is. This is overall already not a motor, you know, I explain it to everybody. No one understands. This is internal combustion engine executed as electrical circuit. Why I do not fit. Can't agree my theory with theorists. It's all stands still, what you rotate, vice versa. They are as flywheels also. These running solenoids, it's a 3-piston engine. These hills, you've been driving over, ravines, it overcomes them with no pedal assist. Only 3 running solenoids, and on them instead of spark plugs here, are the current collectors. And goes not a high voltage, 18 kilovolts but only 24 or 36 volts, depending on the speed, and you giving such an impulse. And it also closed from the backside with capacitors. Obtained resonant tank circuit. To recreate such a precedent, as in combustion chamber of an internal combustion engine, you need to create not just a coil, like all motors have, but create a resonant tank circuit. In this, actually, is the secret. Why for so many years of trying to at least one copy to build, no one yet put it together? Why? Nor Indian laboratory nor 100 people in Taiwan. It is our laboratory, I'm giving them drawings. Everything. They coming here from Taiwan, very difficult to get visa, they coming angry. I'm saying, guys, we made here rickshaw, we are 8 people, you 100. You already 8 months, nothing. We in 2 month build rickshaw, they been rushing here everywhere. Saying, why, very same drawings, everything, there's such know-how, they cannot even figure. Why? Because Ivanov Yuri, he been here. Rhythmodynamics, yes. He even signed it for me. He told me when he was here filming, writing, everything. This thing is his gift. That's how your engine works. I just froze. Ivanov figured it out, understood. Yes. Look here, he said, why do you have categorically written 2 less? So I did 2 lines, 2 less. And when rotating, look what happens. Here's your face cans and shifts. Spider effect. Oh the Ivanov, oh the son of a bitch, like by Pushkin. I'm saying, well, don't tell anybody. It useless. I will tell it to everybody. Why? He says, it useless to understand. They have to. He knew my story. I gave him the newspaper where a big article about me. So they have to start as radio enthusiasts from 14 years old, then go to military, serve in radar, then after graduate studies, and defend dissertation on units variance, where I translated philological subject into technical engineering units variance. Explain, please. What do we see? We see some spider. So what is it? How does this relate to how your brilliant motor running? And what the whole world cannot understand? Yes, forget about a spider. Necessary to remember about these lines, which are phase shifts. As soon as the movement of the outer rotor relative to the stator, such conditions occur, explosive moments that are accompanied by phase transitions, in advance. Shifted all three running solenoids. Already shifted by 120 degrees. Well, because there are three of them. To divide 360, so 120. And what happens? Not needed a crankshaft, which makes all this with the pistons, moves them. This is a terrible device. The crankshaft, loss on it. Why 30% of efficiency? And why here 90? Because here, a functional work itself looks like a combustion engine. There is simply no rubbing parts, liners, crankshaft, connecting rods. All takes a huge amount of energy. I'll show you test certificates by MPEI, Moscow Power Engineering Institute. The engine 300 watts, my bicycle motor. There were present the British, who first tested it in Southampton, then came here out of curiosity. 300 watts, made the maximum stop. The generator been breaking it to the end. It develops 56 Newton meters 300 watt motor, hour a lot of 70. And then 300 watts 8 kilograms motor. It develops 56 Newton meters at efficiency. Efficiency drops, because you are holding it. There is only 32%. Well, we purposely made 32 because 30% of the combustion engine. So here we left off. Certainly currents grown. They were just in shock. Write-up is very good. Fysenko wrote a review. He is head of laboratory there, DC Motors, Department of Dynamo Electric Devices and Automation. Grushevsky. And that's after this review, when MPEI has made an assessment. The Friedman's team immediately bought a large percentage share from the British. You must have read. This been written in many magazines, newspapers.